Van life is gaining popularity, and there's a segment of us that have chosen an alternative to the big, expensive converted camper vans. People like me. I travel full time in a minivan. Today, we're going to talk about how to insure your home on wheels. Most people assume that if property inside their vehicle is stolen or damaged in an accident, that their auto insurance will cover their personal belongings. But, surprise, they don't. Everything I own is in my van. If I was in an accident where not only my vehicle was damaged, but also my belongings, regular auto insurance is not going to cover anything but my vehicle. If my van goes up in smoke, along with my clothes, my computer, my Roadloft conversion kit, my entire house, and everything I own, poof, gone. My auto insurance would probably only pay out maybe $5,000 for my vehicle after my deductible, and that could be devastating for many of us, especially if everything you own is in your van. It's important to have your van and your belongings properly insured. Disclaimer, I am not an insurance agent and I can only speak from my personal experience. Insurance requirements vary by state and insurance company. My hope is that this information is helpful for you, regardless of what company or state you insure through. It's important to understand the different types of insurance coverage available and their significance in protecting your van home. There are three main types of coverage that you should consider. The first is liability coverage. Liability is required by most states, and it is designed to protect you financially if you cause an accident that results in injury to someone else or damage to their property. And it generally has two components. It has a bodily injury component as well as a property damage component. The bodily injury, this covers medical expense, legal fees, and potential lawsuits if you injure someone in an accident while driving your van. Property damage liability, on the other hand, that covers repairing or replacing someone else's property if you accidentally damage it with your van. So liability coverage protects someone else. Then there's collision coverage. Collision coverage is specifically designed to cover repairs or replacement costs if your van is damaged in an accident with another vehicle or object, regardless of whose fault it is. It helps pay for repairs to your van or its replacement if it's deemed a total loss. Accidents can happen on the road, and repair or replacement costs can be substantial. Collision coverage provides peace of mind knowing that your van can be repaired or replaced if it is damaged in a collision. Then there's comprehensive coverage. Comprehensive coverage is coverage for damages to your van that are not the result of a collision. It typically covers incidents such as theft, vandalism, natural disaster, falling objects, or damage from fire. But again, only damages to your van. Additionally, there is uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. This coverage protects you if you are involved in an accident caused by a driver who doesn't have insurance or doesn't have adequate insurance. The state you insure in has specific minimum coverage requirements. Having liability, collision, and comprehensive coverage is often referred to as full coverage, and it's something required by lenders if you have a loan on your van. There may be an option within your state to change the classification of your van to a recreational vehicle. You would need to check with the Department of Motor Vehicles in your particular state for the requirements. Generally, for a vehicle to qualify as an RV, it needs to have sleeping, cooking, and bathroom facilities at a minimum. Now, I have all those things in my van, but in Nebraska, those things have to be permanently affixed, and nothing in my van is permanently affixed. Everything we've discussed so far is only covering our van. So let's talk about our belongings. It's important to share the details about how you use your van with an insurance agent. I know some people out there say, don't tell an insurance company that you live in your van, but I'm not willing to risk having a claim not paid or having insurance canceled because I was not upfront and honest. You may have to check around to find an insurer that understands your unique situation. Not all insurance companies will find you insurable. For instance, Progressive will not insure me because I don't have a regular garaging address. Now, a garaging address does not mean that you keep your van parked in a garage. It's where you park your vehicle overnight. Vehicle insurance rates are determined by where you live and where you park overnight. Things like crime and theft rates for the area, as well as the number of claims in your particular zip code, are factors. Since I'm traveling full time, they don't consider me to have a garaging address. Was able to get insured through State Farm. I have a full coverage auto policy that covers my van, and I have a renter's insurance policy that covers all of my personal property anywhere in the world, including all the contents of my van. My home base is my parents' house in Nebraska. It's where I get mail, where I have my driver's license issued, pay my taxes, and it's considered home for any of those questions that require a physical address as opposed to answering, I live in my van. I know not everyone has this option, but maybe you have someone in your life whose home can become your home base. Then, when you talk to an insurance agent, you can tell them that you travel, but your home base is this address and where you consider home. A renter's policy covers more than you can imagine, and the location of the property essentially doesn't matter. It even covers credit card or bank fraud and counterfeit money. I literally just read the 32-page policy because I do things like that. It's important that you have evidence of your personal property. Take pictures and videos of the inside of your van to document what you have. Keep copies of receipts for your valuables. Think camera equipment, laptop, smartphone, jewelry, whatever you have that is valuable. I recommend taking photos of the receipts. Keep all those photos and the receipts in a folder on your computer. Make sure it's stored in the cloud with something like Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive. Then, if something happens to your computer, you still have access to those documents and pictures. One final thing to think about when establishing a policy is to add roadside assistance. Many auto policies have an option to add roadside assistance for very little money. This is really important in case of breakdowns or emergencies. I encourage you to do some research and carefully consider the options available in your state. This may not be the answer for everyone, but it was for me, and can enjoy the freedom and adventure of the road with a little bit more peace of mind. Until next time, stay wild and stay free.